welcome to Digital Communication Playlist. Today in this session, I will be explaining you sample and hold circuit for flat top sampling. As we know that sample and hold circuit is one of the widely used circuit design to generate flat top sampled output, which consists of number of flat top samples at the sampling rate of Fs once every Ts second using periodic pulse stream. Flat top sampling is like natural sampling, and also it is practically possible sampling method. But the difference between natural sampling and flat top sampling is that natural sampling is little complex method in which reconstruction of sampled output is very difficult at the receiver end, but the flat top sampling method is quite easier than natural sampling, and it can easily reconstruct the sampled output and recover the original signal back. Hence, we use sample and hold circuit to generate flat top sampled output, which will be studied in the next slide. Now, look at the circuit construction of sample and hold circuit for flat top sampling. As you can see here, this circuit consists of two flat switches, that is G1 and G2. Here, G1 is called as sampling switch and G2 is called as discharge switch. Including these two flat switches, we have another component, that is capacitor, which is connected across G1 and G2. When the analog input signal X of t is applied for sample and hold circuit, it converts this signal X of t into its equivalent discrete time signal G of nts, which consists of flat top samples at different sampling intervals Ts. These sampled output can be obtained only when we trigger the two flat switches by applying the trigger pulse train to the gate terminal G1 and G2 respectively. This is what regarding basic construction of sample and hold circuit. Now look at the working principle of this circuit. In this you will study how continuous time signal is converted into flat top sampled output. Let us consider analog signal X of t is applied as an input to the sample and hold circuit. This can generate the sampled output only when the trigger pulse are applied to the gate terminal G1 and G2. Let us assume that trigger pulse at 0 Ts second is applied to the gate terminal. Now, initially sampling switch G1 is closed for this short duration Ts, and capacitor charges up to a voltage which is equal to amplitude of the input signal X of t. When the sampling switch G1 is open, capacitor hold the charge, and at the meantime discharge switch G2 is closed to discharge the capacitor. Similarly, for next trigger pulse at 1 Ts second, sampling switch G1 is closed for this short duration Ts, and capacitor charges up to a voltage which is equal to amplitude of the input signal X of t. When the sampling switch G1 is open, capacitor hold the charge. At the meantime, discharge switch G2 is closed to discharge the capacitor. Hence, for all the time interval of trigger pulse, the output of sample and hold circuit produces flat top sampled values, and the signal representation is called as discrete time signal. This signal sometimes is also called as flat top sampled output. This is how sample and hold circuit converts continuous time signal into its equivalent discrete time signal, which consists of number of flat top sampled values at a discrete time interval NTS. This is all about sample and hold circuit. Now move on to the other topic, that is Nyquist rate and aliasing effect. These two terms are very important in the sampling process to convert continuous time signal into discrete time signal. Let us begin with first term, that is Nyquist rate. Sometimes it is also called as Nyquist criterion. When the sampling rate or sampling frequency Fs is exactly equal to 2 FM samples per second, then it is called as Nyquist rate. So that Nyquist rate Fs is equal to 2 into Fm, where Fm is equal to maximum frequency of the original signal or continuous time signal x of t. Nyquist rate Fs is also called as minimum sampling rate, in which sampling process can obtain minimum number of sample value. When the continuous time signal x of t is sampled at a Nyquist rate Fs is equal to 2 into Fm, then the spectrum of discrete time signal consists of non-overlapping sampled value which is repeating periodically, but the successive cycles of samples value in the spectrum of the signal g of omega touches each other, which is as shown in the figure. So that this spectrum of discrete time signal indicates that when Fs is equal to 2 Fm, then sampling process can obtain minimum number of sample value at the output side. That criterion is called as Nyquist criterion, or sometimes it is also called as Nyquist rate. Next, move on to the other term, that is called as aliasing effect. Aliasing is the phenomena in which continuous time signal is sampled at the rate of lower than Nyquist rate. If the Nyquist rate Fs is equal to 2 into Fm, then in the aliasing effect Fs will be less than 2 into Fm. So that we can say when the sampling rate or sampling frequency Fs is lesser than 2 into Fm samples per second, then it is called as aliasing effect. Now look at the spectrum of discrete time signal. When the continuous time signal x of t is sampled at the sampling rate Fs is less than 2 into Fm, then successive sample value in the spectrum of the signal g omega overlap with each other and cause the aliasing effect. In this case, the signal cannot be recovered or reconstructed back at the receiver end and produce the disturbance or noise at the destination user. Now it's very important to know how we can avoid the aliasing effect. Aliasing effect can be avoided by considering the two conditions, that is, sampling frequency Fs should be more than or equal to twice the maximum frequency Fm of the original signal x of t, that is Fs greater than or equal to 2 into Fm, and second one is sampling interval Ts should be less than or equal to 1 by 2 into Fm. If you follow these two conditions, then the spectrum of discrete time signal will be look like this. So in that you can observe successive cycle of sampled values non-overlap with each other, and this signal can be easily reconstructed or recovered back at the receiver end to produce the original information to the destination user. This is all about Nyquist rate and aliasing effect. In the next session, we will study other new topics. Thank you so much for your attention. See you in the next video.